Hi, I'm Kathy,
And I'm Patrick.
and today I'm going to be talking about some of the issues you might come across when trying to mew. Disclaimer first. So, what you want to first figure out that is if you're mouth breathing habitually, you want to figure out why. It may be a nasal obstruction, or it just could be just a habit that you're doing. You want to stop it, or you want to figure out why it's happening. So you may want to see a clinician to try to figure that out or troubleshoot. So to move forward, once you have that fixed, then you can actually start mewing. So the first pillar that I want to try to tackle is lip seal. So Patrick, tell me, what are some of the issues I might encounter?
So lip seal sounds really easy, but a lot of us, including myself and Catherine, have issues with it. The first thing we'll focus on is when you're active, when I'm talking. Key thing that John Mew talks about is just count 1 to 10 and videotape yourself. When you count 1 to 10, do your lips only touch once? Do they touch 6 times? Big difference in that lip contact. You want to aim more towards the 6 rather than the 1. You want to be measured while you're talking and not, just constantly chatting without touching your lips at all. Another big issue is if you're mid-sentence. If I'm talking to Catherine, we're going back and forth. When I'm not talking, my lips should be closed. I shouldn't just be sitting there with my lips hanging open, waiting for her to talk. Like Mew has actually called me out on this before, so props to him. Then next, let's get into when you're a little more passive but still concentrating. So when you're working, when you're playing video games, TV, whatnot, really easy for those lips to come apart, just by habit. So you can use a post-it note to remind yourself, hey, keep my lips closed, or just have a buddy, friend, family member, whatnot, remind you, close your lips. And then eventually it'll just become natural. So then the last thing is while you're sleeping. Probably the hardest one. I get the very common, anytime I tell anyone about it, they're like, well, I don't know what my lips are doing when I'm sleeping. Actually, sometimes you can realize it because there might be drool on the pillow. There's a good chance they're open. You may or may not know for yourself, but you can figure it out by either videotaping yourself or talking with a friend and checking. Not having them look at you for a little bit while you're taking a nap. So, to fix lip seal at night, Catherine often has issues with it. The quick and easy fix, a temporary fix, get some medical tape from Amazon and use it as effective mouth tape. Small piece, big piece, whatever you need to keep your lips closed. And you place it just like this. And this stays on all 8 hours you're sleeping. It'll become more comfortable over a week, and that fixes that. Eventually, hopefully, you won't need a tape. That's the goal. So that really covers the first pillar.
So for the second one, teeth lightly touching. So I know sometimes when I'm actually sleeping and then I wake up, my teeth are actually hurting, and that's one of the issues I've encountered. So Patrick, how do I fix this?
So this is definitely one I can relate to because I've been a clincher my whole life too, and I've had a lot of jaw pain and neck pain because of it. So first we have to tackle it during the day. If you're stressed, if you're anxious, what can you do to resolve that? I mean, obviously try to just be try to focus on your stress levels, but we have to kind of separate our stress from our oral posture. If we're cognizant of keeping our teeth lightly together, just the teeth should just be resting, you can even talk with your teeth together. You really can get that habit ingrained in you and not clench down when you get mad at your boss. That's probably the first step. And eventually that will translate to nighttime, that same habit will translate to nighttime. It will just take a fair bit of time, could take months, could take a few years. But eventually habits during the day translate to night. So that's the second pillar.
And for the third one, that one is having the tongue fully up against the roof of the mouth. And I know that's actually one of the hardest. I know when I started, it was quite difficult, and it was even a little bit hard for me to breathe sometimes. Can you explain this a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So, thanks, Catherine. So Tongue posture is definitely the most difficult. There's a structural component, but let's just first focus on common misconceptions. So if I talk to a coworker and I'm like, oh, I always notice your tongue is down. You ever, can you put your tongue up? Are you able to get it up? They'll put their tongue up and they'll just really put the tip up. I'll be like, no, put it fully up. And they'll still just put the tip up. So they might even push their tip of the tongue into the teeth. You don't want that. The goal is to get that tongue, the tip of the tongue right up behind the teeth, but then the rest, the back of the tongue, really the bulk of the tongue, the posterior part, the back of the tongue, all the way up into the roof of the mouth without touching any of the teeth. Much easier said than done, but that's the goal. Some people will then say, well, I can't get the back of my tongue up because it's weak. You know, you might need some myofunctional therapy exercises that really just work on strengthening the tongue. We'll go over that separately. But once you're able to fully do that, you still might notice that, hey, my palate is both too narrow width-wise and too shallow depth-wise, where it becomes difficult to breathe when you get the back of your tongue up and difficult to fit your tongue in your roof of the mouth because of the narrowness. Now, these are a little bit more structural in nature and can require help with a specialist. So, you know, definitely consider all your consider your options. We're not going to go into all the expansion devices, but expansion is generally helpful in terms of just getting your tongue to fit in the roof of your mouth better.
So these are just some of the issues you might encounter. I know everyone might find something else, so try to comment below. Maybe we can all just work it out together and try to figure it out to make sure you can properly MEW. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe and let us know you want to hear more. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.